Hello. Okay, so I am doing an interim video very quickly in between my regularly scheduled videos for a news flash, or as I like to call it, a cast flash. I wanted to get this out to you guys as soon as possible, so don't adjust your screen. This is what I look like with less makeup. And if you say I look the same, tell my ex-husband I said hey. So I am here in the raw, as Women of the Nang would say, because I wanted to get this information out to you guys as soon as possible. So
let's do it.
Alright, stop. Hammer time. I said a quick video, so we don't even have time for that long of an intro. I'm trying a new headset. I thought it was very appropriate for this newsworthy news flash, cast flash. Because my sound's been all wonky lately, so I'm trying something new. Let me know how it works out. Alright, if you haven't heard already, there is some news in regards to the child sex abuse laws that have been changed in New York. If you're unfamiliar with the previous laws, there was a statute of limitations for mid to lower level child abuse cases of 5 years, which means once the victim or alleged victim turns 18, they have 5 years in order to criminally press charges against their alleged perpetrator. All severe felony cases, apparently there was no statute of limitations for that. 5 years for mid to lower. I don't know how that's distinguished. Plan on doing more research. So that's the first big change that the Child Victims Act will create. I'm not a human thesaurus today. The second main piece is that it will allow victims to civilly pursue action against their abusers or alleged abusers until they're 55 years old. All right, that's great. The best change that this act enables is this. The Child Victims Act will change the state's strict statute of limitations on sexual crimes against children and open up a 1-year window to revive past claims of any age. So they are saying that this is a one-time, 1-year window that despite how old you are or how long ago the abuse was, you currently have the right to press criminal charges, not just against the perpetrator, but against the institution that enabled the perpetrator. Sound like anybody we know? I'll have to think on it. So, the article that I was sent, and thank you ApostaBabe, Linda James. I appreciate you sending this, and if you guys haven't been to her channel, you should definitely check it out. She's amazing. I had the awesome opportunity of chatting with her for a couple of hours last weekend, and freaking hilarious. Really, she's a great ApostaBabe. But she sent me this article, and let's just go through and read what it says really quick and see what we perceive this to mean. Attorneys are poised to file hundreds, if not thousands, of lawsuits beginning on Wednesday for adults on Staten Island and throughout New York who allege they were sexually abused as children. A 1-year window of opportunity exists for victims of any age who were abused at any time as minors to file lawsuits against their alleged abusers and institutions that purportedly turned a blind eye to those crimes. And I love that they are finally holding institutions more accountable. The window is part of the Child Victims Act, which was signed into law by the governor on February 14th. Attorneys have been advertising for clients and holding news conferences, demonstrations, and other events to draw attention to alleged sex abuse that in many cases happened decades ago in New York City and state and throughout the country. And that is key, because when you're first reading this, you might assume, and I could be wrong, I'm not an attorney, not to brag, but I assume when I'm first reading this that this would be for New York residents. However, it specifically says in many cases that happened decades ago in New York and throughout the country. So this sounds to me like the Watchtower Bible and Tract Society has been somewhat protected on these mid to lower range sex abuse cases, where they certainly enabled the abusers, but once the victim was 23 years old, they were free and clear. Not this year. On Friday, attorney Erwin Zalkin held a news conference in Manhattan announcing 2 alleged victims, Heather Steele and Michael Ewing, who will file lawsuits in state Supreme Court in Brooklyn on Wednesday. The lawsuits will name as defendants 8 members of the governing body of the Jehovah's Witnesses. I don't know why that gives me butterflies. It's like, Now located in Tuxedo Park, New York, the JW's world headquarters occupied a building with a large and very familiar Watchtower sign in Brooklyn. Litigation by the Zalkin law firm has exposed a database maintained by the JWs containing information about known child molesters within the organization that dates back decades, according to a news release from the law firm. The JWs have defied numerous court orders compelling them to produce this database in several of the lawsuits. Yeah, that's new. Some of the attorneys have formed umbrella organizations uniting abuse victims and lawyers. The article goes on to talk about cases for the Boy Scouts, the Roman Catholic Church, etc., etc., etc. I really love how straightforward this article is. So personally, I think this is very exciting news. I wanted to share it all with you. Let me know what you think, if you're interpreting it the same way. I'm pretty sure there's going to be a lot of mention of the Jehovah's Witnesses and the Watchtower Bible and Tract Society, specifically our favorite 8 men. Yeah. This is going to make excellent persecution porn, as John Cedars would put it, for the governing body and all of the members of the Jehovah's Witnesses. I personally am very excited. I think I already said that. Because as I've been watching other class action lawsuits and just actions altogether, bringing to light what we all know to be true of this organization, I've been seeing it in other countries and going, well, when is the United States going to jump on board? And I know we've had definitely some individual cases and successes here in the States. But I think this is going to open up a whole new can of worms. Can't wait to see where it goes. I got to get back to working on my next video. So, you guys are awesome. Love you. And until then, I'll see you next time.